In the movie Pretty Woman, Richard Gere hires a prostitute played by Julia Roberts to pretend she's his girlfriend when he needs to close a big business deal. Now he offers to pay a large sum of money, and we understand slowly that she develops feelings for him. But he views her only as a body for hire. At some point, she's hurt by him, and she throws at him his money and leaves. And we need to be convinced, we the viewer need to be convinced that she loves him truly, and we are convinced of that only if she is disinterested. In this movie, love and money are presented as antithetical. And of course, I mean, this is a formula that has been endlessly used in movies. Today, I want to show you the ways in which romantic practices have come to depend on consumer capitalism. As an economic system, capitalism aims to the production and exchange of commodities with the aim of accumulating a surplus values, that is, making a profit, with some part of the profit being reinvested in order to maintain the condition of future accumulation. In capitalism, the notion of self-interest and of mutual economic benefit become legitimate. Transactions are justified by calculating their effects on the bottom line, whether they're efficient or not. Now, take this definition of capitalism and look at romantic love. Romantic love, in contrast, puts two individuals together, and they seem bound by the capacity to realize spontaneity and empathy in an erotic relationship. This is in contradistinction to the marketplace, where partners are trading something together, and where people are ultimately interchangeable, and people are also reduced to a kind of economic value, what they're worth. This is how salaries, for example, are sometimes decided. This is in contrast to romantic love. In romantic love, the person we love and feel united with and to is unique and irreplaceable. It's not reducible to any monetary value, of course. Furthermore, love is the most important thing in the world, to which all other considerations, particularly material ones, should be sacrificed, exactly as in the movie Pretty Woman. So romantic love is irrational rather than rational. It seems gratuitous rather than profit-oriented. It gives us pleasure. It doesn't give us a utility. It is private rather than public. In short, romantic love seems to evade conventional categories within which capitalism has been conceived. Now, in popular culture and in common sense, as well as in scholarship, romantic love stands above the realm of commodity exchange and even against the social order writ large. Before we analyze how romantic love and consumer capitalism are actually more connected than it seems, we should not confuse love and marriage, which was, until the 20th century, a largely economic affair. For example, members of the landed aristocracy in Europe married people of similar or superior birth and fortune in order to maintain their patrimony and social status. And this was true for most social class, actually. Until the beginning of the 20th century, marriage was considered by most members of all levels of society to be one of the most, if not the most, important financial operations in their lives. Far from the modern idea of love, the ideal of marriage was one in which the fortunes of both partners aimed to be similar. So the ideal marriage was a kind of equitable bargaining. And historian Theodor Zeldin notes even that in such an atmosphere, love was for parental authority the great enemy, the rebel, likely to cause disasters for all its projects. So really, precisely because of that, I think romantic love has been traditionally perceived to oppose strategies of social reproduction, of economic strategy, which was normally represented by the institution of marriage. And yet, ironically, it is capitalism which, so to speak, liberated love and made it appropriate for marriage. Why? Because with capitalism, people no longer depended on inheritance of their parents or on the material benefits that marriage could bring them. They could go to work in an open market where they could sell their body or their competence or their skills to someone who would hire them for a salary. So romantic love actually became favored by capitalism. And I would say more than that, that romantic love reinforced such aspects of the ideology of industrial capitalism in that it was a vector for individualism, for privacy, for the nuclear family, for a new conception of the family that the bourgeois class had privileged.